I sent this to Ross Coulthard also.
Yeah. What's
That
Ross say?
Ross thinks it's crazy. But then, based on the drone phenomenon and knowing about DARPA, Ross is like, he was doing dishes at the time. So, like, I don't think it's that crazy anymore. But he said they are coming back for their craft, the bodies, and resources. And they don't care either way about us.
We just want to know what's going on. It's weird how they turn the community against each other, don't you think?
Oh, I do. I was a bad guy pro wrestler on and off for 20 years. I was a used car dealer for 30 years, and I ran for political office, governor in United States Congress. I have never gotten my feelings hurt more than looking at some Reddit post about me. It's unbelievable. I mean, you talk about. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like.
Jon Stewart. Usually in ufology, in the different places on the internet, when they start talking about the alien interview, they're talking about this video. There's a few other alien interviews that have basically popped up on Reddit, but they're usually not this video. They're usually like some weird question and answer on like a chat app or forum or whatever. So this video is kind of old. At this point, it's from 1997, I think. It's really funny because I think at some point in high school, they would like end school early, but they wouldn't let you out of school. So then you go to like one of the conference rooms or classrooms near the cafeteria, and they turn on a movie. And as soon as the teacher would leave, someone put this in one time in like 98 or 99. I think. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I just watched it late night on something or on the internet. But I think like the first time I ever seen this actually was like someone replaced the video that the teacher put in, which was a pretty common thing. That part wasn't surprising, and this wasn't that surprising either because I didn't have any reason to think that it was real. So the alien interview video is interesting. You watch Jon Stewart talk about it in this interview on the Night Shift channel for almost 2 hours. It's an hour and 44. So not exactly at 2 hours. I don't know. It's probably a short Jon Stewart interview, honestly. I've talked to him a few times on Twitter. I mean, basically, he's a weird guy. He's got a really weird mannerisms and presentation. He's very urgent about every little part of his story. And he's got like 1,000 little tiny details that all come out. Every time he's telling the story, at every little turn, there's like 1,000 little things. So he's got to tell you how many, grains of salt were spilled on the table during his breakfast with Dr. Stephen Greer 16 weeks ago. So like you have to kind of like get past that. He's a weirdo. I think the points that he make in general are really good. Like he, for some reason, and I don't remember, he's been a ufology character for years, and this is kind of like he's a single topic category all to himself. Basically, this interview, what is Jon Stewart, and the topic that grows up around the interview and Jon Stewart is his pursuit of this video and all of the details and all of the things everything in real life and in the video, which, he says is also real life, right? So who the people are in this video, who's asking the questions of the alien, where the alien came from, how it got there, how it's being treated. And when I say people in the video, there's people that show up at several times because the alien's having trouble breathing, talking, having health problems. And so there's medical people that come in and do some medical things and check them out and get them back into the interview. And so Jon Stewart has figured out all the little tiny details about this alien. And the alien, I don't think they're calling the alien Victor. Like, I always wonder about that whenever I come back to it. Victor is the name of the guy, or the call sign or nickname or cover name of the guy who's interviewing the alien. And so in this interview on Night Shift, he's really, for the most part, talking about his search for all the stuff around the guy who's talking to the alien, who he's decided is some kind of like Tibetan monk guy. I wonder if it says it in here as one of their categories. So he's decided he's a Tibetan monk guy who's, recruited into the government forces to talk to aliens because of his, psychic, psionic aptitudes. And that's who's talking to the alien. Whenever you're, like I said, watching Jon Stewart, he will be basically explaining how he tracked down all these little tiny pieces. The names of all the people, all the medical people, the guy doing the stuff, the people know the guy doing the stuff. One of the things that makes this particular interview with Jon Stewart particularly tolerable is at this point they bring in this other guy for some time, who's really just asking Jon Stewart questions and kind of going through, even things that Jon Stewart has gotten wrong in the past. And so this kind of like section does a lot to kind of like humanize Jon Stewart, who he spends a lot of time talking about it a few times throughout this video, that people don't like me. He says people just don't like me. I rub people wrong. I like him. I like that he's basically been this, like I said, single topic category unto himself, which is this alien interview. And so whether it's some kind of big hoax that he's been perpetrating on us for like 30 years now or not, he says he spent a lot of money. He's paid a lot of people for a lot of the info that he puts out in the videos and interviews that he does about this. A lot of what he used to discuss, and I don't think they discussed a lot of in this video, is that, he's gone around to all sorts of people in the movie business, in the special effects business, in the computer generated effects business, and talked to them about how they would go about making this video or making this creature in the video look the way it looks. And that no one that he's ever talked to, and he's got just a long list of all these people who are experts in all sorts of things that have to do with making movies, but also not that, right? He goes into every category. So he gets into all the medical people, all the biological people, all the people who are studying marine life. So there really is. There's 30 years of Jon Stewart tracking down every tiny little kind of detail that you could possibly imagine about this alien interview. So watching the alien interview is not long. This is a 3-minute clip. I don't know how long the alien interview is. Jon Stewart kind of like makes the rounds on the podcast, but the alien interview, pops up above the surface of ufology, every so often, every 3 months or so. So I always think he's kind of like a fun watch. It's always a long watch. It's always like a in-depth watch, and it's we're always talking about the same thing, right? We're always talking about this video, how we got the video, who gave it to him, how we verified it in all sorts of different ways, trying to get someone who could make this thing, and he's trying to track down people who've made things like this, or he's trying to track down things like this that people have made. And it's just, this is so authentic. And the longer the time goes by, because this is something you could have watched in like 1999, 1998, 1997. But the longer time goes by, the more likely it kind of looks like and feels like it's probably fake. So then he's tried to find the people who made the fake, who made this animatronic thing, and who made this video. You can't find any of that either. So, Jon Stewart, he's worth some of your time. An hour and a half, 2 hours might be hard to get through.